I think, sir, we'll start.
Yes,
Students will keep joining.
no problem.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. It is really a matter of great pleasure to have today with us Dr. Yagnesh Dalwadi as a part of this 1 week orientation program for December 2021 SLET examination. We all know that it was a sudden decision to utilize this 1 week prior to the Diwali vacation, and we are really fortunate to have these scholars on university campus who have agreed to be a part of this program at a very short notice. You would really consider yourself fortunate when you would learn about these stalwarts, right? And today we have Yagnesh Dalwadi sir, and just I am giving you the summary of his achievements as an academician. This would be a really an inspiration for you to set, goals for your career. And at this stage, it has become an inspiration to me also that how much is yet to be achieved. Okay, so just listen to me very, very carefully when I just share. I'm giving you a bird's eye view only, glimpses of his achievements. If I talk about his education, he completed PhD, definitely NET, SLATE, PG, DIRPA, then certificate course in SPSS. PhD students, he has produced 11. At present, 5 are working, and MPhil students, 50. Ah, medals at undergraduate level, total 7. And university gold medalist. He has won prize for best research paper not once, twice, but 10 times. And 87 research papers are published. He has also published books, edited them too. He has written case studies, and it has been registered at IIM Ahmedabad. I am sure you have heard the name, one of the top most institutes as far as management studies is concerned. And it has been registered at Harvard University also. If I give you the number of the research paper and case presented, it goes more than 100. And whatever he has achieved only in the span of 24 years of his teaching career. He has been an editor of 4 national and international journals. Ample number of workshops he has attended and conducted also, almost equal in number. He has been to various seminars and conferences as keynote speaker. As far as his other roles are concerned, he has been a joint secretary of IAA Gujarat branch since 2015, vice president of Alumni Association, and has been an auditor also, course coordinator at IGNOU also, and guest of delivered more than 200 plus. So we are adding one more to the list today by being with us for NET/SLET examination. Now, how lucky we are that he has delivered such talks for 180 times, more than that. And he has also completed minor research projects. And last but not least, he has been elected as the Senate member of Business Study faculty also. Yagnesh Bhai, it was really a privilege to read this profile and talk about this profile of yours and sharing this with my students. Thank you very much for being here for our students. And I am looking forward to a great session for me as well as for my students. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Parul Madam, for detailed introduction. And uh, I welcome all the students of Department of Economics And I think that you are lucky enough to have a new and young and dynamic head, so that the dynamism will come in your course curriculum, your teaching and research, right? And I'm sure that more number of uh, NAT and SLED student will clear in coming years, right? So with this short note, again, thank you the Department of English for providing me opportunity to interact with a student of your department. The topic which is allotted to me is a research aptitude. You know that Madam was reading more than 200 talks I have delivered for NAT and SLATE. From 2007 onwards, we were conducting such paper 1 and 2, especially for commerce, in Department of Business Studies, and we got a very encouraging result of our students. So I am sharing that same thing with you, and meanwhile, the syllabus is also changed. So according to that, I have changed. So I'm sharing my screen, and the rule is you have to listen, you have to make note. If and this PPT I'll share. So no need to copy the PPT, because I'm going to give to the uh, head of the department. So you will have this copy, but anything that you have, any question that you have, you can ask in between also, right? So it will not a monologue, but dialogue kind of things. If you have any confusion, if you have any problems, you can interrupt me and we can have a discussion, right? And one more thing I want to share about NAT and SAT. You know that the SAT and NAT examination are set by majority of the experts in the field. For example, if I talk about uh, English part or communication part in paper 1, so it will be said by the head of the department or the person who have the expertise in that department, in that subject. So you can understand the level that you have to grow up, right? So that thing we have to keep in mind. So whatever the syllabus is mentioned in paper 2 and paper 1, it is not only that on, right? You have to go beyond. You have to go beyond the syllabus, and in-depth study you need to do. So all are with me. If you are with me, then you can write down yes in a chat box so that I can see that you are active, right? You can, yes. So Anu Soni is ready. Everybody. Okay, very good. Chalo. So I'm sharing the screen, and one by one, we are discussing the. I hope you can see my screen now, right? Okay, so the unit number 2 in paper 1 is a research aptitude, right? So we are going to talk about research aptitude, and research aptitude is not that small thing or less content. There are a huge number of topics have added. So the new syllabus is about research, the meaning of research, various types of research, and characteristics. So meaning and characteristics we'll learn. Types also we are going to learn. Positivism and post-positivism approach to research. This part I will skip right now because we have so less number of time or hours. So I'm not going to discuss about the, but in PPT I'm going to give you, right? Because at length, these also takes 1 hour. If we try to discuss, it will take 1 hour. So I don't want to waste time in these things. I will give you in a PPT, it will be available. Then methods of research, various experimental, descriptive, historical, qualitative, quantitatives, and steps of research. The steps of research we are going to learn. Then in a syllabus, thesis and article writing, As a teacher, if you want to become a teacher in a university or college, three things are required. First, your teaching. So you have teaching aptitude, then research, then you have research aptitude that we are going to learn, and then extension activity. These three roles are important for any teacher at a higher education, right? So thesis and article writing, you are going to learn format and style of referencing. We are a APA style we are following. So the style, various styles that we are going to learn. Application of ICT in research. Right now, we are not going to discuss it. And research ethics, yes, research ethics we are going to discuss. It means that the given time, application of ICT and research, and positivism and post-positive approach to research, we are not going to learn. Right. Remaining thing we are going to discuss. One thing I want to mention, that whatever I'm discussing, don't restrict yourself to that learning only, right? For example, on your screen you can see the meaning of research, right? You can see the meaning of research. 1 minute, how many? Right, meaning of research, but the meaning of research does not restrict to these words, right? There are many definition of research, but these are the common definitions which are used frequently. That's why I took it, right? So research is a common sense, refers to search for knowledge, something, the knowledge we don't know. For that, whatever we are doing, it's a research, right? Okay. As per Advanced Learner Dictionary, current English defined as a careful investigation or inquiry through a search of few new facts in any branch of knowledge. In any branch of knowledge means in a medical, in a sociology, in a English, or any other branch of knowledge. So we do inquiry, we do investigation, and find out the facts which are new, right? So it is also a research. Systematize efforts to gain a new knowledge. Definitely, the research is finding out something new, something unknown. It is a journey from unknown to known. Something we don't know. For that, we do research. We conduct research, right? So, according to Clifford Woody, research comprise, this definition is giving the process or steps of research. It gives a process. This what it find it out, and this shows the investigation. So Woody has given a definition which gives the steps. So what he defined, defining and redefining a problem. It means research comprises of defining and redefining of problems, formulating hypotheses or suggested solutions, collecting, organizing, and evaluating, data making, deduction, right? Data deduction, and reaching to the conclusion. So this is nothing but a process, right? If you want to go, if you want to find out something, some facts, so what you need to do, what problem you have to identify the problem. You have to make assumptions about that solutions, right? You have to collect the or gather the data, organize and evaluate the data, and data deduction also. Whatever the data which are not useful, you can deduct it, and reaching to the conclusion. By analyzing, you have to reach to the conclusion. This is a simple definition of a research. But as you know that there are many definitions and many meanings are given. So we are also going to learn about the question answer that has been asked in past studies, right? But before that, characteristic of research. Research is a systematic. Systematic means it has a system, it has a steps, it follows certain rules and regulation, and that's why it is called a systematic. It means that you cannot conclude without getting data. You cannot conclude without any asking. First of all, you have to have a problem, right? And if you identify problem and you correct the problem, then definitely. So these are the system, right? If you want to cite something, the reference, the referencing style, we have API. If you want to collect the data, there are two types of data: primary data and secondary data. So primary data collections methods are different, secondary data collection methods are different, right? So these are the differences available, and systematically you have to go, right? So it's a systematic, it's a logical, it cannot be illogical, right? Good research is a logical, which have a logic, which make a sense, right? While doing it, make a sense, right? For example, I want to know about the discipline, right? Discipline in a classroom. So I cannot have a question or interview, right? Or I should have an observation. So it is a logical, right? Which logic you need to use. Good research is empirical. Empirical means evidence based, something that you have already has concluded. Somebody has concluded something, somebody has founded something. Now you want to prove or disprove it by your own data, by your own methods, right? So it's a empirical, it means with data, with proof, you want to do research. And good research is replicable. Replicable means you can replicate it. For example, somebody has done in US, you can do it India, and if it is same result is found, then this research is a good research, right? Same result is found, or same thing has happened. For example, H2O, two part of hydrogen and one part of oxygen, if you mix in Pakistan, then also it becomes water. If you uh, combine it in India, then also it becomes water. So it can be replicable, right? So good research is replicable. We can replicate it, right? I hope you understood. And there are many other things that have a good research, right? Now, based on various definition, based on various concepts and characteristics, one question was asked in a NET examination, and the question is in front of you. Sometime what happens that good meaning is given and illogical meaning also given, so we have to remove it, right? So read the question. uh, First of all, we are reading the question. In the list given below, identify those statements which correctly describe the meaning and characteristics of research. So, meaning, as I said, that I have given 3-4 meanings, but there are many more meanings and characteristics also. There are many characteristics, right? Few things we have discussed, but we can make it sense that this is not a characteristic and this is characteristic. This is not a meaning of research and this is meaning of research. So we can make it out by reading few definition and few clarification, right? So the question is like this. Now option is given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And choose the correct answer from the code given below. You have to choose the correct, which is correct. Number 1 correct, then you have to tick here and you have to match with the code, right? So first of all, let me introduce a logic of deductive logic and inductive logic, right? Deductive logic and inductive logic. So you know why we need to use deductive logic and inductive logic, to save our time. For example, 1 to 5 statements are given, right? Here you can read 1 to 5 statement. We haven't read right now, right? I'm just showing the key to save your time, right? So there are 5 points, right? And in a code also there are 3 points are written, right? Either 1 2 3, 1 2 4, 5 to 6, whatever. Why 5 to 5, 5 to 3, whatever, right? It is written. So what we can do to save our time, we can use deductive logic, right? Deductive logic means, so first of all, we are going to read this statement, right? And we will not read the whole five statements, right? We actually want what? The point number one is correct, point number two is correct, point number three is correct, or point number four is correct, right? We want the correct answer. That's it. We don't want to prove it, right? So, deductive logic, how we can use. So, first, research is a method of improving our common sense. Research is a method of improving our common sense. Whether this is a meaning or characteristics of research, is it means that this statement says that it improves our common sense. Common sense are a sense which is commonly available. For that, you need not to do any kind of research, right? Something that has a problematic, then you do the research. But common sense, right? In the morning, we have to brush. For that, we should not do any kind of research. So is this a characteristics or a definition of research? Definitely no, right? It is a common knowledge, or knowledge we need to improve, not our common sense. Everybody have the common sense, but it is very uncommon. But though it is it is not method for improving our common sense, right? Right. So this statement is not true. It does not describe either meaning or characteristics. It means that, let me tell you now, by reading this first statement, I can make out, I can deduct whatever not available. So, which, see, again, read this question. Uh, Identify those statements which correctly describe. This does not or do not describe correctly. So wherever the one is written, I will remove it. See, here it is written, I will remove it. Here, fourth point, I will remove it. That's it. It means that this is not the answer. So now my probability, earlier probability was 25 or 25%. Now my probability is 50%. This or this, right? If I'm running out of time, then I can take anything, right? Now, see, I am in this question, I am not showing what are the right characteristics and right meaning of research, right? I'm just sharing how to reach the answer, quickly, right? So these two deductive, we have used deductive logic. Point number 2 and point number 4 are not part of our answer, right? Now we have a competition between 1 and 3. So what are the common thing? 4 and 4. So will not read fourth point. Is it okay? Yes. Number 5. Again, it's a tie. So will not read. So either point number 2 or point number 4 are correct. I hope you got this thing. इसमें से पॉइंट नंबर 2 मतलब ये या पॉइंट नंबर 5 ये करेक्ट है. Are you getting the point or not? Write down yes if you got this point. How I have reached the conclusion. जल्दी से जल्दी मुझे सॉल्यूशन चाहिए. तो how I have, right? Okay. So Dhruvi, Kinjal, and Priyansi, Paresh, right? Kokani, everybody got. Now, see what I did. I haven't not read all 5 statements. If I keep reading 5 statements, in between I will forget statement number 1, statement number 2, and I will mismatch. Better you read anything which apply deductive logic. First is not a correct statement or correctly describe the meaning. So I have removed second and fourth point. Now there is a competition between point number 1 and point number 3. And in that common, I have removed either either second statement is true or fifth statement is true, right? So read the second statement, right? Don't jump right now whether the first is correct or third is correct. We have to read both now, because deductive and inductive method gets integrated in a research process. Yes, in a research process we integrate deductive and inductive method. Deductive logic means, for example, uh, deductive logic, all crows are black, right? Let me introduce the deductive logic. We deduct something, and we from macro to micro we go. In a deductive logic, macro to micro we go. Deductive logic, all crows are black, right? So one crow that I have definitely is a black, right? So because I have a common statement out of which I have one crow, so the crow must be a black, right? This is deductive logic. Inductive logic, I have seen three crow. Crow number 1 is a black. Crow number 2, black. Crow number 3, black. I have seen many things, all are black. So I have concluded all crow are black. And this is a inductive method, right? This is inductive method. So definitely in a research process, we use deduction and induction method, right? Out of this, 30% have said this, means they are happy with these situations, right? And 80% have said no to this, so they are not happy. So what we have done, we have used inductive method, right? Now next, read or fifth also, method of consulting and using experiment is called research. So using experiment, method of consulting, using experience. So experience we should not use, right? Experience we should, yeah, experience of research we use. But my experience is this. For example, my experience is all students of Department of English uh, are not good. For example, it is my experience. So is somebody if can I conclude in my research? No, I cannot conclude. It means that this fifth statement is not correct. So I have the second chance, right? If I don't know about these also, then also the first statement is, or first code is satisfied for my answer, right? So remaining we can see research is a creativity and charisma. No, research is not creativity and charisma, right? It's a charisma nahi hai ki you do research and everything happens. It is not charisma. It is not that creativity. We give opinion, or we find out the fact on the basis of the evidences, right? And I don't want to see this, right? Research is used or scientific method to prove answer of meaningful questions, right? The answer provided in research can be empirical verified. It's a correct statement, right? So the common thing I have made, so it can be, right? It can be. I hope that you got this point. See, in this example, I haven't discussed all 5 points, but I have discussed how to identify your answer. And this technique, inductive logic and deductive logic, is very helpful as in a competitive examination. So answer 1 is correct, right? Answer number 1 is correct, right? Now, in a June 2015, right? This question was asked, right? Which of the following statement regarding the meaning of research are correct, right? Meaning, research refers to a series of systematic activities or activities undertaken to find out solution of problem. This is correct statement, right? So wherever there is wherever there is I will have the answer. So A, right? So second is definitely not my answer, because I have deducted this, because this statement is correct, right? Right. So here A is not written. So my chances of my probability is correct chances is 75%. Right. I can be correct. Uh, it is systematic, logical, and unbiased process. Of course, unbiased process wherein verification of hypothesis, data analysis, interpretation, formation of principles can be done. B is also correct. So wherever B is written is correct. Here B is not written, it is not correct. Right. So I have what? 1 and 4. Right. Now look at this. Point number C, point number C. This is the correct. This is common. Now this is common. So I will not read statement number C. I will directly go and read statement number D. If statement number D is correct, I will tick 4. Otherwise, 1. It leads to enhancement of the knowledge. Of course, research is for gaining a new knowledge. So new knowledge is enhance the knowledge. So point number 4. So answer number is 4, right? So you may be a student of language, but you need to use such technique to go and to identify your answer. I hope you got this point. I haven't read this statement. I don't want to read this statement, right? I have read this statement, but I am not uh, completely made it whether this 4 point or 3 point, right? I have used to reach at where my answer, correct answer. So you got all these two points. Have you does it make a sense? Does it make a sense? It means that you got, okay, right? See, getting 100% of research and getting 100% knowledge does not qualify that you will get 100% in examination, because examination, it requires other techniques also like this, right? So with this, point number 4 is our answer. So point D or 4, right? So correct answer is D. Now, next things that we are going to discuss about methods of research. In your syllabus, it is written experimental, descriptive, historical, qualitative, and quantitative methods, right? And steps of research. So these are the methods plus many methods. As I've said that your syllabus is not the syllabus of NET, and question are asked beyond uh, beyond your syllabus, right? So we need to learn everything. And steps of research, I must say that you must have the paper of research, and in that research methodology, step of research uh, may be given in that, right? So now we are going to learn methods of research. So types of research: descriptive and analytical, applied and fundamental, qualitative and quantitative, conceptual and empirical, one-time research and longitudinal research, field research or laboratory research, historical research, post ex facto research, etc., etc. We are going to learn one by one, and whatever I am giving in this PPT, it not restrict to that research, right? For example, whatever written in your screen about the descriptive research, it is not only the meaning of descriptive research. It may be many things. Descriptive research may be defined and explained in many other words also, right? So in a brief, we are going to learn about the methods of research. So descriptive research includes survey and fact finding inquiries of different kinds, right? Descriptive research describe the phenomena. Describe the phenomena means whatever happened, right? It describes. So why Modi government is successful, for example, or why university got A grade, right? So So for that, we can have a descriptive research, right, which describe the data. The major purpose of descriptive research is the description of the state of affairs at exist in present. So whatever has happened, why it has happened, and how it has happened. So whatever the data that we collect, right, it is a descriptive study, right? It is also called ex post facto research. It means the phenomena has happened, the transaction has happened, the result is already known. Now we are going to find out what has happened and how that has happened, right? It is a descriptive research. We describe the phenomena. And in analytical research, on the other hand, the researcher has to use the facts information already available and analyze them to make in a critical evaluation of the material. In an analytical study, it is a based on this descriptive study is also based on facts, data, and information, right? But here in an analytical study, we find out trend, uh, we find out the cause effect relationship, and we analyze, right? So it may be any conclusion base, right? What is the phenomena, and up to what extent this analytical study, up to what extent, right? Now, applied versus fundamental. Applied research, applied physics, applied chemistry. So the fundamental chemistry is available, but for uh, XYZ, XYZ phenomena, which chemical we should use. So for that, it's applied research, right? So problem solving based research, if you have, then it is a applied research. It is not fundamental. Fundamental is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But to make it 2, what we should do? So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So this is applied research. So the basic fundamental research is applied to solve the problem, the on-hand problem, right? It is applied research. So applied research aim at finding a solution for immediate problem faced by any business organization or any other person. This research deal with real life situation, right? So whatever the formula, for example, uh, the vaccine of corona. So it is a applied research. Applied research has applied the knowledge of virology, right? The basic knowledge of virology used to prevent and protect from this coronavirus. So it is for immediate problem solving, right? So this is applied research. And whereas fundamental research is mainly concerned with the generalization, with the formulation of a theory. The fundamental research are a basic research, right? Basic research, but gathering the knowledge. If something virus is there, for virology, if you mix this thing and you inject in a human body, then it will give these results. So there is no problem. But in case something has happened, the what we need to do. So these are the fundamental research. Fundamental research in our business, we called it theory of motivation, right? How we can motivate to the employee. For that, whatever the research that we do is a fundamental research. But for XYZ company, there is a problem. So how to solve that problem, right? If there is a lack of motivation, how to motivate them? So when we use this motivational theory in a solving the problem of XYZ company, it becomes applied research. I hope you understood this thing. Quantitative versus qualitative, it is very easy to understand. Quantitative, which have a quantity, right? Numbers, right? And qualitative does not have numbers, right? So qualitative research is based on the measurement of quantity or amount applicable to a phenomena that can be expressed in terms of quantity, right? If salary is increased, right? If salary is increased, whether productivity is increased or not, this is a quantitative studies. So salary we have in a rupees, and productivity we have some units. So this is quantity, this is quantity, so we are measuring, right? So it's a quantitative study. Whereas some qualitative studies where the things are not available in terms of numbers, right? Why this person behaves in a certain manner. So you cannot say that it behave in a 500 gram or 1 liter, right? So if you have certain research on hand, you have to use qualitative research. And now in English and other things, qualitative research are taking place more compared to a quantitative research. And qualitative, there is no specific measurement technique. We have to develop the technique and we need to use it. Conceptual and empirical research. Conceptual, which a concept study that we do, right? What is coronavirus, right? If we and how it has impacted, if you do, is a conceptual study, right? But empirical study, on other hand, which we have to test it, right? We have to collect the data, we have to observe the data, and how it has, whether it is proved or disproved earlier assumption. For that we have the empirical study, right? So a conceptual study, you know, that is an abstract and just a theory, and through theory we conclude something, right? On other hand, empirical research is a experience and observation based technique, uh, right? It is a database research coming up with the conclusion which are capable of being verified. Verified means testing the hypothesis, observation or experiment. So whatever the experiment we do, based on that, whatever we conclude is an empirical study. Other type of research, one time research, if we have done today only or for certain period, is a one time. What have happened to a financial condition of a middle class people during pandemic, we use during 3 months. So it's a one time research. But what about the poverty line of the people of Gujarat? So for that, we collect the data every 5 years. So this is a longitudinal research, right? So one-time research and longitudinal research. In a first case, research is confined to a single time period, whereas in a longitudinal, the research carried out over several time period. Means 2000, we do the research 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020 of the same person, we ask the financial condition, it becomes a longitudinal study, right? Make sure that the study is carried out. So one let me tell you about the study is being carried out. What makes you happy? How can you be happy, right? So for that, a study is carried out for 75 years, and there are many researchers have died during the research, but the research is still continue, right? This is called a longitudinal study, right? You can find out the video on TED, right? So field setting research, or the field setting research have many names: laboratory research, simulation research, clinical or diagnostic research, wherein certain condition is created and we do research. So all chemistry person, all bioscience person have their own laboratory or own, I can say, own garden to do such kind of research. For example, for a dairy technology and for other, they have their own field, right, where they conduct. So whatever is conducted in that, It is a field setting research or laboratory research, right? Where small sample are being observed, and we try to find out phenomena. We give some intervention also. If we use this, then what has happened? If you use certain chemical, then what is the result, right? So a field setting. Conceptual research is a theoretical research we have already done. So conceptual research is generally done by the philosopher, right? Where the concept of theory building technique theory building technique is being used. Theory building means we use we conclude something based on the facts available with us. So person has X person or X man has done this, Y man has done this, both are met and something has done, and that's why this is the result, right? So with this we create or we build the theory, right? So you can go and you can check it out, the theory building concepts, right? So where we build a theory based on facts and figures by connecting, joining, and right, making conclusions, etc., etc., right? Next, uh, causal research. Causal research is conducted to determine cause and effective. If something has happened, why is it happened? So independent and dependent variable. What is the result of independent variable on dependent variable? Why this has happened? So causal research is a cause and effective relationship. This has happened. What will be there, right? For example, price, petrol price, and your purchase, right? If petrol price is 100, how much you are going to buy? If I can say 120, if it is 80, then what is your research? So this is cause and this is effect, right? To measure this, whatever research we do is a causal research. Historical research, you know that already history has done. So based on our observations and facts finding, we collect the data and uh, we conclude about our history, right? Next, ex post facto research. As post facto research means certain phenomena or certain thing has happened, कुछ हो गया है. Now we are doing the research, right? Why it has done, right? From what is done afterwards, right? Many things. In this type of research, an examination of relationship that exist between independent and dependent variable. The relationship is exactly exist. We don't want to prove the relationship, or it relationship is there, but at what extent that have the relationship, if we want to measure, then it is ex post facto research. And many MCQs are being asked from this ex post facto research, right? In this method, the researcher has no control on independent variable, right? Ex facto literally means a from what is done afterwards. In this research, a variable is observed. Therefore, researcher try to find out the causal variable B, cause A. If we increase A, how much B is increase or decrease, right? Because certain phenomena is already there. If we find out and we do the research, then it is called ex post facto research, right? So for example, ex post facto result, for example, if I use uh, suppose your marks has, or suppose there are 70 students in this NET and slate examination, right? And now out of this, 30 has cleared. 30 has cleared. And for that, we have done many things. And we have given material, we have given PPT, we have given classes, we have given problem solving sessions, right? And your result has increased. So what, and your result is already out. Your result is already out. There is no denial. But what are the factors that has given a more result? To do this, we can have ex post facto result. Action research, as you know, that action is required first. It means that immediately we want to solve something, right? The corona vaccine, whatever, whoever Bharat Biotech has, and the UK person has found out this, it is action research, because the certain problem is arise and we want to solve it uh, immediately. So when immediate action is required, it is a action research. But in a general no hurry, then it cannot be action research, it can be applied research, right? So here, uh, soon as soon as possible, our result is required to solve the problem. For example, your sales is going down, so action research is required. What has happened to, and how to remove, and how to increase the sales? For that, whatever you do is a action research, right? Immediate actions. Evaluation research, certain plans and policies that we have implemented, whether it is successful or not. New education policy has come, whether it is successful or not. For that, anything we do, it is a evaluation research. Library research, no need to go here and there. Whatever the data that you have available, right, past data, past record available, you compile it, you connect it, you make some sense, right? So, and you do the research is a library research, right? Now, from examination point of view, right, we have to find out and we have to connect the set 1 with set 2, right? Again, I'm going to use deductive and inductive logic, right? Chalo. Anything which very favorite of you, you should pick, right? For example, you know that research type, I am very happy about the action research, because I know the action research is required immediate solutions or immediate problem solving, right? So I know about the action research. You can read this, right? So first we are reading, there are two sets given below. Set A specify the types of research, and set 2 indicate the characteristics. This is set 1, types of research, set 2, characteristics. So what we need to match it, right? So fundamental research, whether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which characteristics, we have to match it. And we have to compare with this code, right? So A means this A. If my A, for example, A, my fifth point is correct. Set number 2, fifth point. So A, I have to have here fifth, right? Fifth here, right? Then it is correct. I hope you got this. How to find out this, right? So this, you have to write A, B, C, D, right? A, B, C, D. It means this, or this. You have to find it out. So 1, 2, 3 is the answer. Here, A, B, C, D is also given, right? This is also mentioned here, and this is also mentioned here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. क्या सही आंसर है, right? Now, shortcut technique. Let me introduce the shortcut technique, right? Which saves your time and which gives you a speed in calculation and finding out the option, right? तो इसमें से चार ऑप्शन है एबीसीडी में से, राइट? सो आई विल फर्स्ट डिसाइड विच इज माय फेवरेट, एंड आई नो मेनी थिंग्स अबाउट इट, राइट? तो एक्शन रिसर्च आई नो, राइट? एक्शन रिसर्च, तो एक्शन रिसर्च क्या होता है? एक्शन रिसर्च वो मुझे पता है, एक्शन रिसर्च क्या होता है वो मुझे पता है। तो एक्शन रिसर्च जो होता है, तो क्या होता है? चलो, एक्शन रिसर्च क्या होता है? Action research, improving existing, exploring possible at various situations, enriching, finding out a intervention, developing an effective explanation through theory building, right? So theory building comes here, A2. right? But C, I am asking about C. So C, what is the correct answer? Right? C. So improving an existing situation through use of intervention. This is the correct explanation. This is the correct explanation. Matlab C, because I know action research, I've said that action research is for immediate, but we have the intervention. Intervention matlab जैसे जैसे कोरोना आया, राइट? और सब कोरोना की दवाई नहीं मिल रही थी तो सब ट्राई कर रहे थे. किसी ने बोला कि वो काढ़ा पिए तो हो जाता है, किसी का बोला कि वो लौंग रखे या कपूर की गोटी रखे तो ये हो जाता है. तो दीज आर द इंटरवेंशन. किसी ने कपूर की गोटी रखा, उसको अच्छा लगा तो बोला कि ना ये अच्छा है, वो अच्छा है. तो आई नो सी एस 3, राइट? But suppose evaluation research is what? Evaluation research तो क्या होता है कि कोई भी पॉलिसी होती है, कोई भी प्लान होता है, कुछ भी हो जाता है, वेदर टू मेजर द इफेक्टिवनेस, राइट? सो finding out to the extent of perceived impact of intervention. So this is the first thing, to extend perceived impact. क्या impact रही, right? So the examiner has wisely utilized and wisely in this example wisely manipulated the words and given a better and good meaning, right? So fundamental research is developing. So I know fundamental research जो होता है, developing an effective explanation through theory building. Theory building किस में होती है? Fundamental research में. तो I know A का आंसर 2 है. A का आंसर 2 है. तो ये A है ऑप्शन, उसका आंसर 2 है. तो यहाँ है एक और यहाँ है. तो this 2 I have to remove. मतलब ये नहीं आएगा, बाकी जो होगा वो आएगा. अभी डिफरेंस क्या है? कोई भी एक आ जाता है, राइट? कोई भी एक आ जाता है. तो एक्शन रिसर्च थ्रू इंटरवेंशन, तो एक्शन रिसर्च थ्रू इंटरवेंशन, तो ये सॉरी या सी का 3 है. तो करेक्ट आंसर इज 1. तो आप ऐसे लिख सकते हो, राइट? बाकी का अप्लाइड रिसर्च बी है, तो उसका 4 है, एक्सप्लोरिंग पॉसिबिलिटी ऑफ थियोरी यूज ऑफ वेरियस सिचुएशन. अप्लाइड रिसर्च क्या होती है? वेरियस सिचुएशंस में अगर ये होता है तो क्या करते हैं, ये होता है तो क्या करते हैं, वो अप्लाइड रिसर्च होता है, राइट? जैसे अप्लाइड केमिस्ट्री होती है वैसे ही, राइट? नेक्स्ट थिंग, ये आंसर नंबर ए, हमने जो सोचा था वही है. नेक्स्ट, can you read this in your mobile or laptop, whatever you use it, right? आपको रीडिंग मतलब रीडिंग हो रहा है? राइट डाउन यस. ओके, चलो तो अभी ये पढ़ो, राइट? कौन सा सही है? इन दिस 2 lists are given below. List list 1. This is list 1, right? List 1. Provide the types of research method. तो ये 4 types है. And while list 2 is indicative or critical feature associated, these are the features, right? Match to list. तो हमको एक आ जाएगा, देखो यहां सब अलग अलग है, तो एक आ जाएगा तो भी हमको सब आ जाएंगे. Ex post facto method A, right? क्या होता है? Causal comparison and co-relational study. Causal comparison, right? केस स्टडी मेथड क्या होता है? केस स्टडी मेथड में एक ही यूनिट का रियल हम फैक्ट फाइंडिंग करते हैं, राइट? फैक्ट फाइंडिंग करते हैं, राइट? तो इसे इन डेप्थ स्टडी ऑफ ए यूनिट, एक का ही होता है, स्पेसिफाइड फॉर द पर्पस. तो ये है ऑलरेडी. फिलोसॉफिकल मेथड इज अ इंटरप्रिटेशन थॉट ऑफ ग्रेट थिंकर. देखो फिलोसॉफी आई ना, ये चलो मान लो कि मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है, ए एंड बी आई डोंट नो. फिलोसॉफिकल मेथड इज ए थॉट ऑफ ग्रेट थिंकर, मतलब सी का ऑप्शन क्या है, टू है। तो सी में देखो टू कहाँ है, ओनली टू वी हैव, ये 3 और 4 में है, तो ये दोनों चले जाएंगे, राइट। नाउ आई हैव टू थिंक अबाउट दिस ऑप्शन नंबर 4, सॉरी 3 और 4, राइट। नेक्स्ट जहां जहां कॉमन है, ये कॉमन था तो ये है, राइट। बाकी का कोई भी एक आ जाएगा तो हमारा आंसर आ जाएगा। तो डिस्क्रिप्टिव रिसर्च, डिस्क्रिप्टिव रिसर्च फाइंडिंग आउट स्टेटस बेस्ड ऑन स्टडी ऑफ लार्ज सैंपल, डिस्क्रिप्टिव में लार्ज सैंपल होता है, तो डी इज 1, तो डी में ये 1 आता है, तो आंसर नंबर 4 इज करेक्ट। So I will remove this and fourth will be the my answer. It means what does it mean? You need to read this all method of research in depth, what has happened, कैसे करते हैं, इंटरवेंशन क्या होता है, कॉजल रिलेशनशिप इसमें क्या जाता है, राइट, वो सब हम फाइंड करते हैं। जो केस स्टडी होता है वो यूनिट, या यूनिट मतलब एक कंपनी या एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे ही बेस्ड होता है, सब पूरा ज्यादा नहीं होता है, राइट। तो इज ए यूनिट स्पेसिफाइड, तो केस स्टडी बी का 4 आता है, तो बी का 4, बी का सॉरी बी का 4 आता है ना, सॉरी फिफ्थ है ना, फिफ्थ है, बी का फिफ्थ, तो ये बी का फिफ्थ आता है, तो ये करेक्ट आंसर है, राइट। सो नो नीड टू रीड एवरीथिंग, सो आंसर नंबर 4 इज करेक्ट, जो मैंने बोला था वही करेक्ट है। Now, next question is the research that aims immediate application is immediate application, तुरंत उसका रिजल्ट ऐसे करते हैं. So whether it is action research, empirical, conceptual, fundamental. So it is action research. So answer number A. Now there are mix of it. So we are going to learn about this. Chalo, which of the following research type focuses on ameliorating of prevailing situations, right? It means that situations जो है उसको prevailing situation है उसको कम करना और उसको उसको तुरंत sort out करना किस research में होता है, right? Prevailing situations अभी ongoing है उसके लिए, तो it is action research, right? Action research. तो action research है focusing on prevailing situations. So applied research, empirical research, fundamental research are not that, right? A researcher attempts, next question. A researcher attempts to evaluate the effect of method of feeding and anxiety and proneness of children, right? ये दोनों में इफेक्ट मेजर कर रहे हैं, इवेल्यूएट द इफेक्ट, राइट। विच मेथड ऑफ रिसर्च वुड बी अप्रोप्रिएट फॉर दिस, कौन सी मेथड होगी, राइट। एंजाइटी प्रोनेस ऑफ ए चिल्ड्रन, राइट। मेथड ऑफ फीडिंग, कैसे फीड करते हैं उसको और उसको कितनी एंजाइटी होती है वो कैसे करते हैं, राइट। तो केस स्टडी तो बिल्कुल नहीं होगी। केस स्टडी कब होगी, जब एक ही XYZ यूनिक केस होगा उस पे होगा, तो ये नहीं है। सर्वे मेथड, तो फीडिंग में अब सर्वे मेथड तो यूज नहीं कर सकते। एक्सपेरिमेंटल एंड एक्सपेक्टो मेथड में क्या डिफरेंस है, एक्सपेरिमेंटल में अलग अलग इंटरवेंशन देते हैं, अलग अलग इंटरवेंशन मतलब आपके मार्क्स कैसे ज्यादा आएंगे, तो फॉर दैट वी कैन हैव एक्सपेरिमेंट। तो आपको क्या दिया, पहले एक ट्यूशन क्लास दिया, बाद में नहीं और अच्छा मटेरियल दिया, तीसरी बार मैंने आपको इंपॉर्टेंस दे दिया, चौथी बार मैं आपको बहुत सारा पढ़ाया, लिखने को दे दिया। नाउ कब आपके मार्क ज्यादा है, अगर ये रिसर्च है तो ये एक्सपेरिमेंटल है, राइट। तो ये एंजाइटी एंड फीडिंग मेथड में एक्सपेक्ट पोस्टफैक्टो मेथड, तो ये ऑलरेडी ये एंजाइटी होती है तो उसका रीजन क्या है, फीडिंग का कितना इंपैक्ट है, तो वो हम मेजर करने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं, एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो मेथड। इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग अरेंजमेंट वाइडर स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ आइडियाज इश्यूज आर पॉसिबल, तो आगे देखेंगे कि ये आर्टिकल, कॉन्फ्रेंस, वर्कशॉप, सिंपोजियम क्या है, राइट। जहाँ ज्यादा होता है कॉन्फ्रेंस में, सब ज्यादा टॉपिक होते हैं, कॉन्फ्रेंस स्पेसिफिक नहीं होता है। इंग्लिश का कॉन्फ्रेंस मतलब इसमें लिटरेचर भी आ गया, इसमें मतलब ग्रामर भी आ गया, इसमें सब सब तरीके का जो जो आपका एरिया है वो प्ले भी आ गया, जिसको जो भी करना है वो कॉन्फ्रेंस में होता है, राइट। whereas in a seminar there are specific, for example literature of 50 मॉडर्न लिटरेचर पे जो हम डिस्कस करेंगे वो सेमिनार में होगा, राइट। सो ऑल आंसर सी, एक्शन रिसर्च, एक्सपेक्टो मेथड एंड कॉन्फ्रेंस, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जनवरी 2017 में पूछा गया था। The principal of school conducts an interview sessions of teachers and students with view to explore the possibility of their enhancement in participation in school program. स्कूल में जो प्रोग्राम होते हैं उसमें ज्यादा लोग पार्टिसिपेट करें, इसलिए टीचर्स एंड स्टूडेंट का एक इंटरव्यू सेशंस होता था। This endeavor may be related to which type of research, right? Which type of research? राइट। तो इवेल्यूशन रिसर्च नहीं, अगर नई नई स्कीम डेवलप की है और बाद में होता है, नहीं होता है। फंडामेंटल नहीं होता है, अप्लाइड रिसर्च नहीं होता है, तो एक्शन रिसर्च होता है, राइट। कि व्हाट व्हाट कुड बी द पॉसिबिलिटी, राइट। इन एक्शन रिसर्च में होता है प्लान, देन 1 मिनट, एक्शन रिसर्च में पहले प्लान होता है। कोई भी एक्शन रिसर्च हो इसमें पहले प्लान होता है, मतलब वी नीड टू हैव ए प्लान, राइट। देन वी नीड टू एक्ट, बिकॉज एक्शन रिसर्च क्या होता है, जल्दी जल्दी करना होता है। बाद में एक्ट होता है, बाद में हमको ऑब्जर्व करना होता है एंड बाद में रिफ्लेक्ट करना होता है। तो प्लान, एक्ट, ऑब्जर्व एंड रिफ्लेक्ट, PAOR, PAOR। और ये क्वेश्चन है ना 3 to 4 टाइम्स पूछा गया था पेपर 1 में। तो प्लान, एक्ट, ऑब्जर्व एंड रिफ्लेक्ट, प्लान करना पड़ता है, एक्ट तुरंत करना पड़ता है, बाद में ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ता है क्या हुआ, बाद में हमको रिफ्लेक्ट करना पड़ता है, राइट। अगेन कौन से इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज कर रहे हैं, तो रिसर्च मेथड विथ डेटा कलेक्शन इंस्ट्रूमेंट हमारा है, राइट। तो इसमें से कौन से इंस्ट्रूमेंट कहाँ यूज करते हैं आप सोचो और बाद में मुझे जवाब दो, तब तक मैं आई कैन हैव ए ग्लास ऑफ वाटर। ये पढ़ो और कौन सा आंसर हो सकता है यू कैन राइट डाउन इन चैट बॉक्स, देन वी कैन डिस्कस। चलो, हिस्टोरिकल मेथड्स में पता है ना क्या होता है, क्वेश्चन होता है, नहीं हिस्ट्री चेक करनी होती है। तो क्या होता है, प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज हम यूज कर सकते हैं, प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी, राइट। इसमें क्वेश्चनर नहीं होता है, हिस्ट्री में क्या होता है वो क्वेश्चनर नहीं होता है, स्टैंडर्डाइज टेस्ट भी नहीं होते, क्रिटिकल कैरेक्टर टेस्ट भी, कोई भी हिस्ट्री के मेथड में कोई भी टेस्ट नहीं होता है, नो टेस्ट, राइट। वी आर नॉट हैविंग एक्सपेरिमेंट विद द हिस्ट्री, राइट। तो व्हाट आर द वी यूज प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी सोर्सेज। तो डी इज वन। सो डी में वन कहाँ है, तो डी में वन यहाँ है, डी में वन यहाँ है, तो ये दोनों निकल जाएंगे, दिस वुड बी gone, right? Now here what is the common, no common, this and these are common, तो ये भी निकल जाएगा। now a में 3 आएगा या 2 आएगा, a में 3 आएगा या 2 आएगा, तो a एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिसर्च, इसमें 3 आएगा या 2 आएगा. तो एक्सपेरिमेंटल रिसर्च में डू वी यूज क्वेश्चनर? नो, वी डू नॉट यूज क्वेश्चनर इन एक्सपेरिमेंट. एक्सपेरिमेंट करते तो वो लेबोरेटरी में एक्सपेरिमेंट होता है, तो लेबोरेटरी में हम क्वेश्चनर थोड़ा करते हैं. तो a इज इक्वल टू 2 नहीं है, तो a इज इक्वल टू 2 वाला नहीं है, मतलब ये 2 नहीं है, तो ये निकाल देंगे, राइट. तो बाकी का आंसर क्या हुआ? तो 2 इज करेक्ट आंसर. इट मींस दैट एक्सपेरिमेंटल, तो अभी अभी करेक्ट आंसर हम देख लेते हैं. एक्सपेरिमेंटल A, experimental research, point number 2. It means that, sorry, हाँ, एक थर्ड आएगा. तो स्टैंडर्डाइज टेस्ट, यस, स्टैंडर्डाइज टेस्ट होता है केमिकल में, इतना केमिकल इतना केमिकल, राइट. एक्स पोस्ट फैक्टो, तो दिस 2 इज करेक्ट ना. तो दिस टिपिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, डिस्क्रिप्टिव मेथड क्वेश्चनर, and historical method primary and data. So point number 2 is correct. So answer number 2 is correct. So with this we can have a answer. Steps of research process. So every book have certain research process, but the comprehensive research process is, we can discuss here. Steps of research process. First is formulating research problem. First we should have a problem on hand. If we do not have problem on hand, and if we do not have a curiosity or unknown things with us, we cannot have a proper research methodology or research plan, right. So first there should be a problem. It does not mean a problem, but that may be a your curiosity and something you want to check it out, you want to find out the facts, then you can do a research. Problem does not mean a problem, right. Then extensive literature review, so to check what sort of problem it is. So you can go through a literature review. In literature review, we go to the library and find out the research of other authors in the area that we want to solve the problem, right. So accent literature review. For literature review, how to conduct a literature review, that can be a 2-hour sessions. How to identify the problem, there can be a 5 hours problem to discuss what is problem, how to identify the problem, what are the steps in identify the problem, what are the way to find out the correct problem, right. That you can have, and I will send one link so you can uh, read about the identification of research problem. Next is developing of working hypothesis. Hypothesis is a tentative assumptions about the result or phenomena. So unknown thing क्या हो सकती है, whether there is significant difference or not, whether there is impact of certain phenomena on that or not. For example, I'm increasing the salary, your productivity will increase or not, right. So if I have to frame the hypothesis, so productivity is increase. So if I infer this before I start my uh, research, it is a hypothesis. So it is testable and verifiable. We can verify by collecting the data, and we can infer whether we accept the hypothesis or not. For this 2 hours sessions we can take. Preparing research design, this is a blueprint of uh, research design or research, in which we discuss about the sample, we discuss about the types of data that we need to collect, how from which sources we are going to collect. So everything, this is blueprint of research. So research methodology, in a chapter we have a research design. So there are many research design. We have to use the appropriate research design, determine the sample design, sample, how many samples that we are going to collect, from where we are going to collect, right. which method of sampling technique we are going to use, probability, non-probability. Again, 2 hour sessions. Collecting the data. So before that, we need to understand the types of data, primary data and secondary data. Sorry, primary data collection methods are different, secondary data collection methods are different, right? Again, 2 hours sessions we can take. Execution of project, it means whatever the we have decided in research design, sample design, collecting the data, we execute, and then we collect and analyze the data, and we test the hypothesis, whatever the assumptions that made in point number 3, we test it and then generalize whether that phenomena is prove or disprove earlier research or not, and then we interpret, right? And then finally we find out or write a report. Okay, and this report or thesis or uh, dissertation or project report we can call it. So these are the steps, and these steps, if I talk about this research process, it may take 2 hours, right, at a glance also. But what I'll do, I will give you some link where I have spoke about the research process and how to identify the problem, right? So you can go through it and you can improve your knowledge. So the CR Kothari book gives this in a tabular or uh, given a figure, right? Defining a research problem, review literature, hypothesis, research design, in that we collect the data, analyze the data, and interpret the data, and report writing, right? These are the things. Now, question based on the steps, right? Which of the following sequence of research steps are nearer to scientific method? So whatever that we have discussed, this is scientific method, right? So whatever the, so the first is definitely problem, right? Or defining the problem. First of all, we need to define the problem, isn't it? Because see here, formulating research problem is the first thing. So see, suggested the solution of the problem. So solution nahi dena hai, right? So this will not come. Identifying a causal factor, this will not come, because first step is identifying the problem. So we have two things: defining a problem, perceiving a problem situations. So problem situations को देखना है, और बाद में यहाँ के locating the actual problem. This is further decided in a problem. जो आइडेंटिफिकेशन होता है उसके भी स्टेप्स है. तो ये फर्स्ट स्टेप है कि पहले हमको मानना पड़ेगा कि प्रॉब्लम है, बाद में क्या प्रॉब्लम है वो हम फाइंड करेंगे, एंड इट्स डेफिनेशन, राइट? हाइपोथेसाइजिंग, यहाँ लिखा है आइडेंटिफाइंग द कॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम. So are we identify the cause of problem directly? No. Cause of problem, at the end we find out what are the cause of problem, right? बाद में सैंपल, कलेक्टिंग द डेटा एंड एनालाइजिंग रिसर्च, एंड बाद में हम करते हैं, राइट? सो दिस सेकंड पॉइंट लुक्स बेटर, नियरर टू साइंटिफिक. मतलब सब स्टेप नहीं दिए हैं, लेकिन कुछ कुछ स्किप भी करते हैं, राइट? राइट. तो डिडक्टिंग द कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस ऑफ सजेस्टेड सॉल्यूशन, टेस्टिंग ऑफ हाइपोथेसिस एक्शन. तो पॉइंट नंबर 2 लुक्स बेटर. देखो यहाँ क्यों नहीं है, पॉइंट नंबर 3 क्यों नहीं आएगा? बिकॉज आइडेंटिफाइंग द कॉज ऑफ प्रॉब्लम, प्रॉब्लम क्यों हुआ वो नहीं करते हम कभी भी रिसर्च में, वो तो हम फाइंड करते हैं एक्चुअली डेटा कलेक्ट करने के बाद. तो पॉइंट नंबर 2 इज करेक्ट आंसर. सो आंसर नंबर इज बी, एंड दिस इज बी, राइट? आई होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट. Similarly, from this, which sequence of research step is logical in the list given below? 39. चलो मुझे बताओ कि क्या हो सकता है, क्या हो सकता है, राइट? प्रॉब्लम फॉर्मुलेशन, डेवलपिंग ए रिसर्च डिजाइन पहले होता ही नहीं है, क्योंकि प्रॉब्लम फॉर्मुलेशन पहले ही होता है. प्रॉब्लम फॉर्मुलेशन देखो, तो ये बी तो वाला आएगा ही नहीं. अभी मुझे बताओ कि क्या आएगा. सेकंड, डेवलपिंग अ रिसर्च डिजाइन बनाना है या हाइपोथेसिस होता है? तो सर हाइपोथेसिस, तो ये नहीं आएगा। हाइपोथेसिस लास्ट में नहीं आता है, प्रॉब्लम के बाद, राइट। फॉर्मुलेशन ऑफ प्रॉब्लम के बाद रिव्यू लिटरेचर होता है, बाद में हाइपोथेसिस होती है। तो ये हाइपोथेसिस लास्ट में नहीं आता है, तो ये पॉइंट भी गया। डायरेक्ट सैंपल नहीं दबाते ना हाइपोथेसिस, तो पॉइंट नंबर 3 इज करेक्ट। I hope you are getting. And are you with me? Write down yes if you are with me. Oh, answer are written. Point number 3. Wow, correct, 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 correct. So all are with me. See, this is online, so I cannot see you, what you are doing, how much attention you are paying. I don't know. That's why I keep asking certain questions in between. Right. So I hope that you got this point number 3. So definitely deductive logic you can use. Don't read all the statements, right? Don't do that. Otherwise time will be very short. Only thing you can do is deduct which is not a correct answer, guess what is right answer, right? So problem, see again here in this case how I can go to the solutions first, right? So consequences of research step, right? So this, see, for problem formulation, developing design, data collection, generalization, conclusion, so these are the things which go here and there, right? So I know that problem formulation or problem identification is first step. So here research design is not, so I have removed that, right? After problem formulations, there are hypotheses. So here hypothesis is not there, here hypothesis is there, here hypothesis is not there. I need not to read all the statement. With this line only, these 2 lines only, I can go to the and identify the correct answer. So point number C, answer number C. तो हमने अच्छी तरह से 41 slide पे, a researcher intend to explore the effect of possible factors for organization of effective midday meals intervention. Which research method will most appropriate for this study? A researcher intend to explore the effect of possible factors, क्या factors है of the organization effective midday meal intervention, right? तो already है, तो ex post facto रिसर्च होगा, हिस्टोरिकल रिसर्च नहीं होगा, एक्सपेरिमेंटल नहीं करेंगे, डिस्क्रिप्टिव नहीं होगा, एक्सपेक्ट, राइट। नेक्स्ट, which of the following is initial mandatory requirement for pursuing research, right? हाँ, ये रिसर्च परस्यू करने के लिए सबसे पहले क्या मैंडेटरी रिक्वायरमेंट है? इट्स नॉट दैट मैंडेटरी, मतलब लीगली नहीं है, लेकिन पहले क्या होना चाहिए? डेवलपिंग ए रिसर्च डिजाइन होनी चाहिए, फॉर्मुलेटिंग ऑफ रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस होने चाहिए, डिसाइडिंग अबाउट डेटा एनालिसिस प्रोसीजर होनी चाहिए, और फॉर्मुलेटिंग रिसर्च हाइपोथेसिस। तो फर्स्ट, राइट, इनिशियल मतलब फर्स्ट क्या होना चाहिए? तो हमको पता है फर्स्ट क्या होता है, रिसर्च क्वेश्चन होता है हमारे पास, फॉर्मुलेटिंग है रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस होता है। तो पॉइंट नंबर 2 इज करेक्ट, right? Point number 2 is correct. I hope you got this point. So D and this B element of 2 is correct. Research ethics. So there are number of lectures a researcher can give on research ethics, but certain points we are going to discuss, right? So deciding the right priority is your research ethics. Right priority means what you need to do right now during your research, right? So that you have to decide. Then fair utilization of resources. You should not use excessive resource, right? In terms of money, in terms of your time, in terms of your energy. You cannot utilize 90% of your time in a problem identification and only 10% left for writing and everything. No, fair utilization. In your all resources, maybe physical resources, your time, etc., etc. Fair utilization you need to do. Data collection versus data cooking. You have to collect the data. You should not cook the data. It means that data that you are collecting, for example, there is one questionnaire, right? So many researchers do that. They write themselves, right? They cook the data. They don't go to the respondent, and they themselves write the data. This is data cooking, right? uh, or collecting wrong data, putting all wrong data, right? Manipulating the data. Suppose the trend is not coming, so uh, to make it a trendy, they increase or decrease the value, right? That should not happen, right? So what a data collection you have to do in a proper manner. If there is a primary data, there is a family of collection of data, there is secondary data. You go to the online, offline, and correct data, right? Collection of correct data is required. Data cooking, you cannot cook the data, you cannot prepare data, you can collect the data. Then relevance and values of research. There should be a relevance, and there should be value of research. It means that when you do the research, make sure that it is relevant right now. It means that it is not outdated, right? For example, what has done by Akbar, right? Right, or Akbar's poems, for example. So it is not relevant right now, right? Then value of research, it should be valued, it should be useful to a researcher plus a community, right? Copyright and plagiarism, that you cannot copy everything which is available online, offline, in books, in journal, right? You have to cite it properly, right? You cannot copy and paste. So plagiarism is there. So plagiarism, we can have 2 hour session on plagiarism. Ethical issues and research methodology, proper methodology you need to use, right? Fair assessment of research work, right? Fair assessment of research work. It is applied to the guide. Fair assessment. The certain researcher has not followed the methodology, then also we can say that okay, go ahead, no problem, you have done good job. This is against research ethics, right? So in a research ethics, whatever you have done deliberately, that comes under unethical practice. Deliberation is there, there is a willingness, or you cannot collect the data from certain source and you cook the data because you want something, so deliberately you have done. It is a against unethical process. But suppose you have collected data, but the provider has given wrong data, maybe right source but wrong data, it is not an unethical practice, right? It is not unethical practice, right? Now, based on this, we have certain questions, right? A researcher uses parametric test in lieu of non-parametric. Matlab, he has to use parametric test, or sorry, non-parametric test, but he has used parametric test for analysis and interpretation of results. This may be described as case of unethical research practice, malpractice in reporting results, technical lapse in handling data, manipulation of research result, manipulation of research. So manipulation उसने नहीं किया है. He has applied the test, right? But the test is wrong. Test is used, right? So it is not manipulation, and there is no desire also, right? Unethical research practice. So this is not that unethical because he is unknown to uh, unknown about the test that to be follow or test to be used for hypothesis testing, right? So this is not unethical practices, but it is we analyze the data means we handle the data. So technical lapse in handling the data. So point number 3 is correct. Is a technical lapse. So it is not deliberately done. If you are or your guide is knowing about this, come to know about this, that you have used parametric test instead of non-parametric, then she or he can make a change, right? And this is not a unethical practices, and this is not a malpractices, right? So point number 3, this is not a crime. Ha, it is not a systematic research, but it is not a but a, it is not a crime, right? I hope you understood point number 3. Point number 3. Next, right? The problem of research ethics is concerned with which aspects of research activities, right? So can you tell me, following prescribed format of thesis में ऐसा बोला गया कि ऐसा ऐसा लिखना, is this ethical, connect to the ethical? No, it's connect to the system. Data analysis through qualitative and quantitative techniques, so according to that we use, it is not research ethics, right? Defining a population of research is not ethics, but research ethics is evidence based research reporting. Whatever said by the public, whatever the said by the result, that we need to report, right? This is a ethics. This is a ethic. You got the point? The point number 4 is correct answer, right? And creative, I'll skip this, right? Next, which of the following is, can you give me the answer? Till that I can have a one phone call. I'm muting my mic for a minute.
Hello, sir. Please unmute your mic.
Sorry. Okay. So inaccurate application and statistical techniques, inaccurate application of statistical technique is your ignorance, not against the ethics. Research design you have not correctly choose, it is your ignorance, not unethical. Sampling techniques, right? But reporting of research finding, राइट आपने फाइंड नहीं किया तो भी लिख दिया, इट मीन्स दैट देयर इज ए एथिकल पॉइंट, राइट? इन चलो ये ले लेते हैं, इन फाइनलाइजिंग द थीसिस राइटिंग फॉर्मेट विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग वुड फॉर्म ए पार्ट ऑफ सप्लीमेंट्री पेजेस? सप्लीमेंट्री एट द एंड आता है, तो एंड में क्या आता है? तो बिब्लियोग्राफी एंड अपेंडिक्स आता है. तो टेबल ऑफ कंटेंट प्राइमरी पेज में, लिस्ट ऑफ टेबल प्राइमरी पेज में, कंक्लूजन ऑफ स्टडी एंड में आता है. लेकिन सप्लीमेंट्री ये एंड में आता है, ये सप्लीमेंट्री होता है, जो एनेक्शर हम बोलते हैं, राइट? अपेंडिक्स एनेक्शर में आता है, मतलब लास्ट में वो ही आता है, राइट? तो आंसर डी आता है. रिपोर्ट राइटिंग, you know that report we need to write dissertation, thesis और मे बी a research paper, right? and उसको लिए लिखना पड़ता है layout of the research report, preliminary pages, main text and end matters. तो 3 पार्ट होते हैं, right? तो कंटेंट ऑफ रिसर्च रिपोर्ट, प्रिलिमिनरी पेजेस में क्या होता है? टाइटल पेज होता है, प्रीफेस होता है, एक्नॉलेजमेंट होता है, सर्टिफिकेट्स होते हैं, जैसे आपने प्री पीएचडी कंप्लीट किया, आपने आपका कोर्स वर्क कंप्लीट किया, उसके सर्टिफिकेट होता है, ओरिजिनलिटी का सर्टिफिकेट होता है, वो आता है। फॉरवर्ड बाय XYZ पर्सन, इंडेक्स आता है, जो हम कंटेंट बोलते हैं, लिस्ट ऑफ टेबल्स, चार्ट, वो सब आता है। मेन टेक्स्ट में आप क्या डिस्कस करते हैं? इंट्रोडक्शन करते हैं, राइट, about subject and topic, methodology that you have used, rationale of significance of the study, result, implication, summary and conclusion, and fourth for scope for further research, right? And end matter में क्या आता है? bibliography and annexure and referencing, bibliography and referencing सब आता है, right? annexure में question और लिख सकते हैं, right? mechanics in writing research report क्या होता है? साइज एंड फिजिकल डिजाइन। साइज क्या हो सकती है रिसर्च? तो A4 साइज यूज करना है, प्रिंटेड होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए। लेआउट कौन सा होना चाहिए, राइट? तो मतलब लैंडस्केप होना चाहिए, वो क्या होना चाहिए, उसका फर्स्ट पेज कैसा होना चाहिए, एम्बोज होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए, फुट नोट, राइट, जो पेज होता है उसके जो नोट नीचे करते हैं, जहाँ XYZ रेफरेंस आए यहाँ करते हैं, वो फुट नोट है। पंक्चुएशन एंड एब्रीविएशन दैट यू यूज ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक, चार्ट्स एंड ग्राफ्स, राइट? प्रिपेयरिंग ऑफ फाइनल ड्राफ्ट, बिब्लियोग्राफी, प्रिपरेशन ऑफ इंडेक्स, डॉक्यूमेंटेशन स्टाइल, राइट? ये सब की देर आर द रूल्स। अगर आप RPG वो पढ़ेंगे, आपका डिपार्टमेंट का पढ़ेंगे, तो उसका क्या क्या यूज करना है वो कर सकते हैं। ये शॉर्ट फॉर्म है, तो आप तो इंग्लिश वाले हो तो बहुत ज्यादा आपको नहीं आएगा, मतलब, लेकिन ये जो दूसरी लैंग्वेज में @L लिखते हैं, जहां जहां रेफरेंस है तो @L लिखते हैं, एंड अदर्स। फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर आर 5 authors, so we cannot write in a reference all 5 authors name, otherwise 2-3 lines for 5 authors, right? So we write first name and then @L means and others, right? उसके लिए and others लिखते हैं। बाकी तो आपको पता ही है। आई बीड एक अलग है। आई बीड मतलब द सेम प्लेस, राइट? जहां जहां फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने X सोर्स में से लिखा, उसके सोर्स में से ही मैंने दूसरा भी लिखा है, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ राइटिंग अगेन X सोर्स, आई विल राइट आई बीड, राइट? आई बीड, राइट? देन ऑफसेट, सेम सेम कंटेंट में पेज नंबर अलग है, तो आई विल राइट ऑफसेट, राइट? ऑफसेट कहाँ है? ये ऑफसेट, राइट? सेम डॉक्यूमेंट बट पेज नंबर अलग है, तो ऑफसेट लिखेंगे। और बाकी का आप देख लेना, अपना एब्रीविएशंस हमको पता होना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट, लास्ट में जल्दी जल्दी डिस्कस कर लेते हैं डिफरेंस बिटवीन सेमिनार, कॉन्फ्रेंस, वर्कशॉप एंड सिंपोजियम। तो अभी मैं स्लाइड रन नहीं करूंगा, इन शॉर्ट मैं समझा रहा हूं कि सेमिनार में क्या होता है, स्पेसिफिक। देखो, सेमिनार कॉन्फ्रेंस में सब एक जैसा होता है, लोग आते हैं, मिलते हैं, डिस्कशन करते हैं, प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं, कंक्लूड करते हैं और चले जाते हैं, राइट? जो कॉन्फ्रेंस होते हैं इसमें आपको सर्टिफिकेट मिले ना मिले, मतलब हमारे यहाँ दोनों कॉमन है तो मिल जाते हैं, लेकिन डिफरेंस क्या है? सेमिनार इज ऑफ, when we talk about seminar, it is for certain subjects only, not subjects, in a topic only. For example, impact of corona, right? When I talk about impact of corona on student, तो इम्पैक्ट ऑफ कोरोना के लिए हमारा सेमिनार हो सकता है, राइट? इन अ फिनेंस, फॉर एग्जांपल इन अ फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट, राइट? और फॉर एग्जांपल सेमिनार ऑन कंटेम्पररी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर, इस पे सेमिनार हो सकता है, राइट? तो एक स्पेसिफिक है, जो कंटेम्पररी होगा वो ही लिटरेचर आएगा, पहले का नहीं आएगा, कंपैरेटिव नहीं आएगा। तो सेमिनार में एक स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक रहते हैं, एक एरिया के टॉपिक रहते हैं। कॉन्फ्रेंस में क्या आता है? पूरा कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑफ इंग्लिश, किसको लिटरेचर की बात करनी है, किसको ग्रामर की बात करनी है, किसको मॉडर्न की बात करनी है, किसको कंटेम्पररी की बात करनी है, जो भी बात करनी है करो, राइट? रिसेंट बात करनी है, पास्ट बात करनी है, तो उसके लिए कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है। वर्कशॉप तो वो नॉलेज इंपार्ट करने के लिए, तो वर्क डूइंग मतलब करो, और सीखो, वो जहां होता है वो वर्कशॉप होता है। सिंपोजियम में एक ही पॉइंट पे ज्यादा डिस्कशन होता है, एक ही पॉइंट पे ज्यादा डिस्कशन होता है। सेमिनार में एक थीम पे ज्यादा होता है, कॉन्फ्रेंस में सब थीम पे सब डिस्कशन करते हैं, प्रेजेंटेशन करते हैं। सिंपोजियम में ये नई नीति में हम क्या कर सकते हैं रिजल्ट अच्छा लाने के लिए, तो उसके लिए एक सिंपोजियम हो सकता है। तो एक ही बात पे सब लोग दोहराएंगे। सेमिनार कॉन्फ्रेंस में सब लोग अपने अपने एरिया में अलग अलग राय देते हैं, राइट। These are the difference, and I will give this to you, right, so that you can read it. What you know about this research paper and article? So there are many opinion and contradiction about research paper and article. Generally in India, research paper is a uh, uh, methodological that we have developed, and we have done the research, we have collected the data, and we are reporting that. It is considered as a research report or research paper, right? An article that without any evidence. In research paper I have evidence because I have collected data, but an article without going through a verification of data, I'm writing something, is an article. Let me give you the example. In a Gujarat Samachar, if you see the Ravi Purti and Budhwarni Purti, and whatever the comes is an article, because the author gives his opinion or his comment on certain phenomena. He don't have even the evidences, right? He is inferring on the basis of the other literature and other news that has coming. Whereas researcher is a very particular for this phenomena or these things. These are the thing, and I have all the evidence, and then it is called a research paper. But in a UK, US, they have research paper is research article, article, they also consider as article, right? But research paper is fact finding base, which you have carried out through your research. An article, you are giving some opinion. So these are the difference. And this example, and as I said that I will skip this positivism and post positivism. So I have given this in your PPT. I will give you this PPT. So comparison and certain past question and with solutions I'm going to give you, right? So that you can read and you can interpret, because we don't have time. So I'm not able to complete all the things, right? I hope that I have justified my role within a given point of time, and this PPT definitely is going to useful to you in cracking the exam. So thank you very much, team Department of English, for providing me an opportunity to interact with student. And student, as I can see in a chat box, students are very active and they are able to hear till I think 1 and almost 2 hours. So thank you very much. Over to head of the department. No, you are mute, Parul madam.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dalwadi sir, for sparing your valuable time for our students at such a short notice. And though I was busy with some academic work, some other work, but then I kept on looking at the slides and the way you were explaining in detail. So this 2-hour session, I am sure, would not only of helpful to the students in terms of next leg, but even if in furthering their research, preparing their proposal, attending seminar conferences, right? So all these things would definitely be of great help to them. Thank you very much once again, sir, on behalf of the department, on my personal behalf, for being a part of this orientation program. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So students, as you know, we won't have the session tomorrow because it requires some board work. So we have postponed this session, right? Maybe after vacation. Then on Saturday, you will be engaged. Thank you very much. Okay, sir.
Okay, ma'am.